Hey everybody, so we are getting right at the end of getting this drop down and all that working, or getting the fonts updated. So we did not have the concept of fonts a couple weeks ago, and now we have them. Today I want to. So the theory is that I can add a couple of lines of code here to load a new font, and then I can add this down here. Now, I'm a bit tempted to try to kind of turn this into one line, somehow make this a one liner, uh, where you just add one thing and it shows up in both places. But I feel like that's when you kind of ruin the lives of your coworkers and yourself in the future by sort of over abstracting. Yeah, it would be nice, but it's also not too bad to see them here. Um, and yeah, all this will probably end up going into a whole new file, anyways. And then maybe we can refactor then into a more clever way of doing this. But so I want to try this. I guess it would be gentilis regular. It could be gentilis. Um, it could be. Is that one L? Oh yeah. If it was two L's, I was going to say it could be gentius, if it was of Spanish descent, but I have no idea what gentilis regular looks like. So I'm just going to click this rename, Control A, and copy that and put this over here. Um, just because spelling is not my strong suit. Um, and then I'm going to make this, just copy that and put this here. Replace this with a capital R. And then copy all of this. And put that in here. And then close that up. And then come down here and add that to our list, our font list. And if we did everything right, I probably should have. If we did everything right, then let's copy this guy. What should happen is it should all work, but we do have a TypeScript issue. Um, so go to definition, and I don't remember what we have in the gentilis. I swear, you run into so many funny pronunciations when you work with developers because we do a lot of reading, and a lot of times we are only like the only time we've ever heard a word is uh, through reading. Um, so you get a lot of funny pronunciations, and one of my favorite is there's the CLI, right? So I've said, oh, in the CLI, and people will be like, what are you talking about? And then I'll be like, this command line interpreter. Oh, the CLI. You mean the CLI? And then the next job, I'll be like, oh, in the CLI, and they'll be like, CLI? What's a CLI? And then I'll be the command line interpreter, and they'll be, oh, you mean the CLI? Because CLI, I guess, if you're imagining it not as three words, but CLI, that is a pretty funny word. If it was just one word, CLI, like you see an ally or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, let's see if that worked. Uh, this is always the fun part. Um, let's see, Helvetiker. Let's make this 0.1 and turn it to a gentilis. Oh man, I like gentilis. or gentili, or whatever you are. So let's see. gentilis. That's nice. Looking good. And -3. -2. And then we'll move it up 2. Move it up 1. And then let's go ahead and add a new one. And we'll just call this gent. I guess I might as well. IS. Work on my memory. And then this one is Helvetiker. Probably misspelling that. I'm mispronouncing that too. Helvetiker. And then move that to -2. And then let's copy that. Control A. Copy. Turn that into text. And make its height 0.1. And then it's kind of interesting because it's like -2 from the middle, which I think is a bit of a bummer. But so you can see the difference. I mean, there's a lot of, it's basically the serifs is one of the big differences between the two. The E is a lot different. This I think is a kind of a friendlier E, and then I guess it would be good to turn it into like a normal, because you can see the 3D a little bit better. And we'll do the same thing for the Helvetiker. And normal. So I like the gentilis a little better, I guess. If I'm trying to pick, I like the way the I looks. Even if you don't account for the serifs, I think the E is a lot prettier in the gentilis. I wonder if that is a word in. Let's see. So this is Helvetic. So I don't know. That's probably not a word. Helvetiker. Let's look at the other one. See if this is actually a word. Because Helvetic I've definitely heard before, and that's so gentilis is definitely a word. Let's see if I can find, like Google has like a way to pronounce words. That's no fun. You're no fun, and I don't really want to go to YouTube because of it's gonna throw up an ad. So apparently it's a Latin word. Let's see.
Accipiter gentilis.
Gentilis. That didn't surprise me. Gentilis. So the LIS is lease. Gentilis.
Accipiter gentilis.
So, anyways, this should have been a short video. Let's see, what are we at? We are at 9 minutes, so that's good. Next time I will add probably a couple more fonts in, and then once the fonts are added, that's going to probably be it for new features in meshes, and then I'll create a new mesh service and pull as much code that makes sense out of this ThreeJS service and put it into the mesh service. Let's see, where are we at on the ThreeJS service now? So we're at 858, 858 lines, which that's fine. I don't get too nervous at 858. Um, I'm just starting to be concerned, because 1,000 is when I start to like go, I don't know about this, and then as we get farther and farther, bigger and bigger from that 1,000, I get more and more nervous about maintainability. Um, I'm hoping that when we pull the material or the mesh stuff out of this service and put it in its own service, that maybe hopefully that'll be like 300 lines. I know one of those like that update mesh is a real doozy. It's a lot of lines. Hopefully we can break that one down too, but that's like 300. So and then that would get us down to 500 or so, 500 and change, which would be very ideal for a service. And then probably move on to camera or lights, probably lights, and kind of do the same thing. There's a new light I want to add, and then probably do pull out all as much light stuff into a light service as I can, and then something for cameras. I don't think there's much more we can do for cameras. I think I have a weird implementation of the two types. I maybe I should combine them into one super type of camera, instead of maintaining two types, just so that they're more like everything else. Um, but I do also feel like cameras may have done everything they can do. There's just nothing more to do with cameras. Um, but I do know that it's pretty slick to have more than one camera and be able to switch between cameras. So maybe it probably would be a lot easier on me in the future whenever we do go to multiple cameras, which I'm sure that will happen, um, if they're combined into one. And then do the scene thing. And then I think, this is all in preparation for the big boss, and the big boss is the import export. Um, and hopefully there could be at least one kind of export, which is to a JSON and then re-importing from a JSON. But I would also love to have an export for comma separated values, just so then I would be able to use like Excel or something to build big giant things, where I'm copying and pasting a bunch of them and slightly moving them and things like that. If I don't want to work in a GUI, if I just want to work like, as they say in the metrics, straight in the code, that would be cool. And I would also love, just because I'm a freaking nerd and a geek, I would love to be able to export these to STLs. So then I could take my little my 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 media down to UPS or whatever and ask them to print out one of these things for me on a 3D printer. But that's that. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.